We finally got some type of response or proof of how David feels about being accused of murdering Celeste. But before we get into his response to killing Celeste, we got some really major updates since our last video that we got to get into. We now have a clearer picture of when David may have met Celeste, and is worse than we all thought. David may have met Celeste when she was only 10 years old. And this has been verified and talked about by some firsthand people who may have been there.
So before David was David, he used to go by the name Chronic Ant.
4 hours in the woods with Chronic Ant.
Chronic Ant was a really good Fortnite player.
Oh, wait. Hey.
When Celeste was first identified, I had came across some comments that said that they knew David, they used to play the game with him, and he used to always have his girl around. Looking back on everything now, they 100% think that was Celeste.
This sickens me, dude. I was in a zone wars with both of them, and thought the little girl in the lobby was someone's sister on the game. I always had a weird feeling about him. I didn't even know he was David.
I'm trying to find a clip of me, Celeste, and David in a call. I knew I should have said something, bro. I thought he was just being normal. We were queuing up in Fortnite with random people, then we queued up with Celeste. At first, it was normal. Like 3 months go by, and I notice it's getting weird. Like, how does he know her entire story? I'm thinking he's just being nice to this kid like a brother. It got weirder every time we would play together. Eventually, he did his own thing.
I was in a lobby while she was there, and that was only one time. I assumed it was someone's sister. Thinking of everything makes more sense now.
Do you remember anything weird about the conversation? Do you remember her username?
I don't remember her username, but there wasn't any weird vibes. We were playing Zone Wars, and she'd just make little comments like everyone while playing. But Ant would joke about SA all the time, and other weird things like severe dark humor, and everyone that's played with him can confirm.
What year and month was this, if you can remember?
January, February 2020, or can be 2021, because it was before I stopped playing, and I stopped playing around then.
And you're sure it was her?
100%. Couldn't have been anyone else.
Yo, I'm watching the live right now, but I just want to say this because me and my friend are trying to recall everything. We were all in a Fortnite team called Chronic, which is where I met him. He met her in like 2021 through Fortnite, I'm pretty sure. And then he made her get Discord. Everyone in the team knew about her, and he would joke about it and brush it off every time it got mentioned. That's all I personally know, but my friend Pistol knows more because they talked way more. She would literally say he her, but then follow it up with a joke. So I don't know if she was being for real or not. He was also just a weirdo, to be honest. He used to send in group chats.
If everything that they alleged was true, David was 15 years old and Celeste was 10.
I've never seen anybody obsessed with gore that turned out to be a normal human being. I've never seen somebody who is so obsessed with gore, they're sending pictures of people getting cut up, dead body, and they ended up being a normal, productive, fruitful human being. It's never happened. Now, a 15-year-old hanging out with a 10-year-old is odd. It's very odd, especially if you are or somebody who's finding interest in her. Right now, again, I understand they're both minors, I guess, but that's still nasty. It's still creepy. It's still weird, right? It's still just as bad as him being, 20 and 21 or 19 and 20 dealing with a 14 and 15-year-old. It's still just as bad. He was turning 16 because I believe David is like 5.5, maybe 5 and 7 or 8 months older than Celeste. So he was turning 16. So no, I don't feel like this is any better that he met her when he was a minor. No, like you as a 16-year-old or 15-year-old, you should have no interest in a 10-year-old. You are creepy and you are freaking weird, right? It's bizarre. Honestly, I'm not surprised because everybody who knew David at that time or the people who were around David in that Discord or fans who were like really close to David and knew intimate details about, I guess, his like social life, they were all considering David like an absolute creep and weirdo. Like in this particular TikTok where David is asking people, does anybody have any tips on how to not be the literal worst person in the world? So he considered himself the worst person in the world. I wonder why. Somebody commented like, yo, just don't fool around with minors. It's literally not that hard. And this was in 2023. So this was an open thing that everybody who was around this dude or who knew intimate details about him knew, right, that he was a diddler. Right now, but he surrounded himself by people and fanboys who will go above and beyond to protect him and hide his secrets of diddling. We even seen when he was live and he told everybody, delete this, delete this, delete this, when Celeste let it slip that he was graping her. Now, this particular person is another fanboy. His name is Zerx. This is a leaked Discord message. This is September 13th, 2025. This is like 5 days after Celeste's body was found. And you know what this fanboy is telling people in the Discord? People who knew intimate details about Celeste and David's relationship? This fanboy is telling people, hey, bruh, Don't say nothing about the matching tattoo that David and Celeste had, because if you say that, it'll get David in trouble. I'm like, what? You really, I'll be real, yo. A minor body is found chopped up in his Tesla, and the first thing on your mind is, hey, bruh, do not give too much information that could get David in trouble. It was people like this that protected David for so long, and why David was able to even do this to Celeste and get away with it. I can't even tell you how old that Discord mod is, right? I guess if it's like a 13-year-old in Discord typing this, is some excuse for it, right? Because, you're 12, you're an idiot at that age. You don't know no better. You look at David as your God, and you probably think, he's completely innocent. And David was really great at selling this dream that he was innocent, right? Because messages leaked of David talking to people around him after Celeste's body was found and while he was being investigated. And from these messages, bro, you will think this is some type of God-fearing, super Christian guy and not this super gore-obsessed pedo in which David is.
So David's messages got leaked that had his thoughts when the investigation was ongoing for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And these messages were leaked by a singer named Caden Neese, who has had an online relationship with David for years. And big apologies to Caden Neese, because I did think that these DMs ended up being fake, but after some research, comes to find out they are actually real. Found out one way where you can make sure that this is actually David's account, and it's to scroll to the top in the messages, and where it says view profile, then you would click on it, and if it takes you to David's page, then you know that these DMs are legitimate. And after he reassured me this is real, he did send me that exact video that I asked for, and just watch. So after doing all of my research, running it through AI, also doing the way where you can verify this is a real message, and also his words saying that they are a real message, and seeing the messages that he had with David all the way since 2023, it seems like these DMs are accurate. But now let's get into what they actually say. So on October 15th at 10:30, he said to David, "I pray it's just all misinformation. The internet sucks." David says, "It really does. So much twisted and fake." He responds, "I'm sorry, dude." And David said, "God bless you, twin. Keep going with your music. Don't stop for nothing." And mind you, in October was literally just a month after Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been identified in the front of David's Tesla.
This was a month after she was found. Now, if he was writing these messages the day she was found, an hour after she was found, it's still disgusting, but maybe it's excusable. But this was a month after. You know how much information we had about this a month? We knew for a fact David and Celeste had an inappropriate relationship going on a month after she was found. We knew this for a fact. The entire internet knew David was an absolute deplorable pedo a month after Celeste was found. But you're in his DMs writing him saying, "Hey, bro, I know you innocent, bro." Huh? You know he innocent. Excuse me? Excuse me? And you're gonna release these messages as if what? Like we're gonna look at these messages and only get on David? No, bro, you just exposed yourself, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, homie. Now, Caden done put his TikTok on private for good reasons, bro. Because we not reading these messages and thinking, oh my God, David, no, we look at this and say, David, you's a POS, you are a pedo, you're terrible. But who is this Caden Neese dude, man? Who is this guy who's telling David, oh, the internet is sucks and it's terrible, and they just lying on you. Who are you? And we got to look at your files. How much terabytes you got? If David got 40 and you a David sympathizer, you got to have at least 5. Man. The fact that y'all would know that this man had an inappropriate relationship with that little girl, but yet you're talking to him as if he's a victim. And David is a great manipulator. Look at how David starts to really soften up this dude. Hey, bro, if you ever need any music advice, but hold on, bruh. Hold on, man. You threw a little girl under the bus for some music advice from David?
On December 18th, this Caden kid messages David and says, I know you're innocent, bro, but why can't the world know? These people are stupid. Anyways, David responded to this saying, ha ha ha, with all humility, I would phrase it as mere ignorance rather than unintelligence. Trust in God, my friend. How has your journey into faith been going? And then David proceeds to tell him different things about the Bible, recommending things about the Bible. And then Caden responds, damn, dude, thank you. And then he says, bro, of course, my goat. When people stop stalking my Instagram followers to make conspiracy theories, I gotta follow you back. And y'all remember the rumors that were going around? People swore they kept seeing him active on different social media accounts when he was basically ghost. Well, based off these Instagram messages that I got from Caden Niece, it seems like he really was active. And this message right here was very interesting because I've seen on Reddit where people were finding David's Letterboxd account where he was watching movies. And this is the account that they found on Reddit of David's Letterboxd account. And there was a lot of movies. So yeah.
Speaking of his active accounts, I meant to talk about this in the last video. When Fortnite came out and was issuing refunds for anybody who got David skins, I'm like, now y'all coming out trying to virtue signal, do something performative, but yet David was playing Fortnite the night before he got arrested. So y'all knew David for 100% fact had an inappropriate relationship with this young girl. We knew that. The only thing we were questioning was, did he murder her, or did she self-inflict and pass away, and then he tried to conceal the body? But now we know for a fact that David murdered this girl. But if you knew this man was having inappropriate relations with young women, why was he still allowed to have a Fortnite account? Why wasn't he banned from Fortnite?
Coincides with what the messages are as well. Last time Caden Niece actually talked to David was on March 28th, and he told him happy birthday, and David responded, thank you, brother. So this is literally just a couple of weeks before he was arrested. So definitely very interesting. You can see David's mindset. You can see him actually messaging with people on Instagram while this whole thing was going down. Also gonna play a slowdown video that I made from his videos that he was sending me of these conversations. That way you guys can see how much they actually talked. This part takes a second because he was scrolling slower at the beginning. And I put it in slow-mo. That way we can see. And I already went through all of them to see if anything was weird in any of them. Like concerning Celeste, I didn't see anything. So as you can see, back in 2023 is when they really started their conversating. And it seemed like a lot about music, or when David would post on his story, he would say something about that. Until obviously this came out, and then he started, telling David he was sorry, and he believed that David is, or was innocent, is what he believed. I think now he might have a different viewpoint.
Seeing messages like this makes it easier to understand how David was still partying like the night of, like days before, like he was arrested. Like David was partying up until being arrested. Like his neighbors were saying, hey, yo, we had noise complaints at this crib of too many parties going on, right? Because this was David, like secret crib he was hiding out at, right? While this investigation was taking place. So he was partying there damn near day and night. And parties usually involve other people. So seeing these messages and seeing how people look at this dude like a freaking god, it's not hard to see like how David was still able to have friends, still able to have a social life, even after all the facts came out about him and Celeste. This is just sick, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, man? Do we have mercy on a dude called Caden Niece, or whatever his name is? Do we have mercy on him? Or do we also consider him a weirdo for talking to David as if he's innocent and telling David he believes he's innocent? All right, let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen to find out how fans believe that Boosie snitched after this old video leaked. I'm gonna see you guys in this Boosie video. And if you love my content, please send me a hype. That's the best way to show support. Please send me a hype. I'm gonna see you guys in this Boosie video. Out of here, folks. Peace.